Okay, so on these rafts, the three main spots they usually leak, for us at least, are right here on the handles. They come up. Obviously you can see the glue on this one already. Around this entire black seam, and then sometimes down in on here. This one is actually not leaking, so I'll just do some fake patches and just show you the normal spots that we would do it on. So we'll spray the soap on the spots they usually leak from. Like I said, this one is not leaking, but this is with the spots we would check here. This one does have a handle coming up, so we'll just pretend this is our leak on this one, but we'll just patch over this just to get it back down. So Andy, we have one of our blue patches. Andy's taking just some sandpaper, just any kind of grit on it, just to rough up the surface of it, just to get more friction. Using the glue adhesive combo. He's gonna put one layer on this. This is gonna let dry to the touch for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna come back for a second layer. Okay, so this is our fake leak. So you obviously see these handles coming up. So Andy's just gonna apply glue to this, the surrounding of where the handle actually laid down. It's gonna be the same thing as the patch. Put our glue coating on there, let this dry to the touch, and then we'll come back for a second coating. Like the other ones on here, also, when we'll patch these down, we'll throw an entire layer of glue around this entire handle, because the air is just gonna push that way. Like I said, I don't have a raft that's leaking, so this is the best we got. Okay, so we're gonna call this a leak on the seam here. This is actually not leaking, but this is where we'll mark it with a hole, so the center of it. So Andy's basically just gonna do an entire circle motion of what that blue patch is gonna look like around the area. Make sure the raft is deflated so no high air pressure is coming out. And then again, also this is gonna take about 5 minutes, dry to the touch, come back for a second coat. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is our patch that we put on and then glue around the entire handle also. So right now Andy's gonna spray this to make sure we don't have air leaking out of this. Just to confirm, spray pretty much the entire area, obviously looking for bubbles. Basically let this sit for 10-20 seconds. Obvious air bubbles will appear. The handle ones, you'll get some small little guys around here, so you do have to kind of be patient with these. So once we determine this is not leaking, obviously wipe the soap off here, and then we're gonna recheck the air pressure on it with our gauge. So our PSI in these ones are anywhere from 0.5 to 0.8. So this one's in range at 0.8 exactly. Okay, so once we've done our second layer on this and it's dry to the touch, this is gonna be ready for the patch. So Andy has the second layer of glue on this one. You're gonna take our heat gun, heat this up, basically until the patch starts to fold on you. That's when it's good, and it's obviously hot to the touch. Heat up the same exact spot you're about to glue. Same thing, you'll see small coarse bubbles in there, kind of on the glue. It's hard to see on the camera here. Once that is set, that's when your glue is basically ready to go. You might have to throw another spot of heat on your patch itself, if you need to. Once you get that going, he's gonna put the patch on there. The black layer is a little higher, obviously, so we're gonna start with that and then press down from there and work your way up. Okay, so once this patch is on, because there's a crease here, what we've done for tricks is we'll take these tube straws that come with the patches, we'll kind of place that over where the crease is, put a wooden shim over the top of it, another shim on the bottom, so the pressure is on, pushing down on that straw on the crease point. And then we'll take just basic clamps just to set that on there to hold the pressure down on each side. And there you go. That should hold down your crease. Then when you take this off, the straw will have the crease part set down harder on where it creases, as opposed to the pressure just going to the top. So for the handle that doesn't need a patch, once we've done a second layer on here and again is dry to the touch, you're just gonna heat up the raft surface, the handle surface, like we did for the other patch. And once these are kind of bubbling again, you'll see the glue on a closer up. They're good to go. And then just kind of roll it back down into place. You can do the same method. You can throw bigger shims over this corner if you want with clamps to hold it down, or what we've done before is put a bigger shim and then just lay a brick over top just to get the weight on it. This one's again not leaking, so we don't need to. On the back side, it can leak on the bottom here. We don't put anything on this because that's going to hit our slide and slow it down too much. These ones have slow strips on the bottom that we want. Once this leaks out of here, that usually means that's the end of the Raft's life because we don't want to add too much material to it that's going to get stuck on the slide. Same with the coating around here. This one's getting down there. You can do the same thing where we threw the patch over here. Once this black seam seems to go, that's usually about the end of the Raft's life. Spot we can check is the bottom seam on the inside here. If this leaks in here, you might have a decent problem on your hands because this one's hard to patch. You really have to deflate it and get in there. So the easiest way, if you do this, pour dump soap in it and then just kind of rotate it so the soap goes around to every part and you'll see obvious bubbles in there. It's the same method with the patch material as the outside. This one I would recommend using clamps on because you're going to have to separate this quite a bit to get in there.